Here's a post from the Patriot Voice. Here he says, you want to know what's absolutely insane? Hantavirus is listed as a reported possible adverse event after getting the Pfizer jab. Okay, not joking. See, look, this is the right here. This is showing the adverse event reports for the COVID thing that we all know what I'm talking about. And one of the potential side effects, one of the potential adverse events is hantavirus pulmonary infection. Interesting. That's the solution to the last virus. That solution might actually cause the next pandemic. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But what's also a good thing, though, is that, thank goodness, they've already got, what is it? Let's pull up here. There's already 13 different hantavirus vaccines in progress. And they've been in progress for quite some time. This is just an update where we're at right now. So there's total in production, total programs. There are 7 that are in clinical trials, 6 are DNA, 3 are mRNA. The U.S. military is quite involved in these. A lot of militaries involved around the world. Yes, we've got one, let's see, USA MRIID, NIAID plus USA MIRD, Korea University, Moderna, Chinese research team. So, yeah, so it just so happens to be that they've already got 13 of these things in 13 of these things in development. Imagine that. Thank goodness that the pharmaceutical industrial complex is so concerned about our health that they're developing these solutions for us that our taxpayer money is paying for, so they can then sell them back to us and make a lot of money doing it. And the media just so happens to help them immensely with creating this fear campaign around it. Yeah, you can see it. The writing is on the wall, right? But here's what's crazy, though, about this is that you look into this, predictive programming. So I don't have the video to show, but there's one. So there's a Simpsons episode. I think it was from 2012. There's this weird anomaly with the Simpsons episodes that they commonly it's like they were using the Simpsons as one of their main vectors for predictive programming and showing you things that would happen that they don't make sense until they happen. You go back and you see it. But there was literally a Simpsons episode where their family was on a cruise ship. And I think actually what happened is that Bart Simpson took over the ship's kind of control center and it broadcast this video. But basically there's this video of this guy saying there's been this Pandora virus outbreak. They're locking down the ship. It's literally kind of cruise ship lockdown virus pandemic fear was all laid out in The Simpsons. But what's almost even crazier is something that was in the X-Files. And so again, X-Files and other things is just full of these little Easter eggs of predictive programming. But I'll play this X-Files clip. So this is okay. I'll play this. Okay, it's 1:40 long, and just actually I'll full screen it so you can see it a little better. But just watch this. It's almost 2 minutes long, and I think there's captions on here, subtitles, so you can see it. Here we go.
Are you familiar with the Hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
So real quickly, just to say, you can't really catch it. So he says, are you familiar with Hantavirus, Agent Mulder? Okay, that's what he starts off with. So you might have missed it.
Are you familiar with the Hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the Hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the Hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
The plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting crooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Negotiating with whom?
I think you know.
Okay, so that's pretty wild, honestly. That I think this episode was in 2012, or I forget okay, I forget exactly when the episode was from, right? So, but anyway, as the guy told Mulder, he says there's this little outbreak in Texas, right? So, are you familiar with the hantavirus? Little outbreak in Texas. He basically then goes on to say that the military created this as a biological weapon, that they released it, and that there was a plan to create a global plague pandemic, Armageddon, with a hantavirus that the military made in a lab that FEMA was also involved with. Okay? I mean, this seems like this is me describing COVID a few years ago and being called a nut job by most people that were not watching the show.